Hi, Mike Pelonzi, back with another episode of Safe and Sound. And it's our last show of the year. I can't believe we've been doing this 8 months, and it's been a quick 8 months. So it's December, holidays are in full swing, everyone's out and about doing the Christmas stuff and the holiday gatherings, shopping. So I figured I'd do this show about developing a personal protection plan outside the home. What do you need to do to keep yourself safe while we're out and about in the world, especially where there are many more people out there, and unfortunately, bad people take advantage of this time of year and look for more victims, and we're going to talk about how you can make yourself not look like an easy target for someone. At the most basic level, a personal protection plan is designed to help keep you physically, legally, financially, morally safe. And I'm going to talk about a few of those as far as what we're expected to do in a self-defense situation. When the law is concerned, one of the most important things is once the threat stops, the use of force has to stop. And I'm going to talk about emotions, and we all feel it, with the sports teams, or I'm not going to bring up politics because I think we're all just exhausted over the politics, and let's just have a good new year. 2025 is going to be good for everyone, I hope. So the ultimate goal, obviously, is we should avoid violent encounters by creating an acute awareness of our surroundings, making intelligent decisions, actions, behaviors. Intelligent decisions is as simple as just staying with the crowd. Don't go down back alleyways. Don't take shortcuts. Don't isolate yourself from the public. Remember, criminals like two things, or hate two things: people and attention. And if you're in a big crowd, they're apt not to be as violent as they would be if you were taking a shortcut down an alleyway at dusk where the mainstream people are, on the main road. The law is going to place special emphasis on your decisions and actions when you encounter a threat or you use self-defense. A lot of people don't know this, but whether it's a handgun, whether it's your hands, whether it's pepper spray, it's a knife, whatever item you use in a self-defense situation, you need to know when you can have it, when you can use it, and more importantly, how to stop using it and when to stop using it. Another aspect of this is, in Massachusetts, we have a duty to retreat outside our homes. Any reasonable means of retreat or escape, we are expected to do. Now, that doesn't mean that the law expects you to run across a busy highway if there's a threat by the side of the road, but it may expect you in the law, and we're talking about in court, they may expect you to walk back into a store or back into an industrial park or back into the movie theater where you came out of, as opposed to actively engaging the person. You never want to be seen as the active engager because we need to keep ourselves in the innocent party rule of the law. And the innocent party rule states, this isn't word for word, I created this in one of the classes, we are on our life path, we're just going to point A, B, wherever, not intending to encounter any problems, not intending to use any use of force, and a violent person came at us or a threat came at us, and we had no other option but to use whatever items we used in that self-defense situation. We're also expected to have training in it. Whether it's a firearm, whether it's pepper spray, whether it's our hands, whatever you're using, you need to get training by a qualified instructor, someone that has a certificate, someone that has liability insurance, hopefully someone who's been doing it for a long time. Such as myself, I've been doing this for 27 years. So I have a long history of many students I've taught. Why is that important for you guys? Commonality training. We train everyone the same. Whether you're 16, 50, 60, we train everyone the same because our tactics work, the techniques work. They're very simple. So many things out there, you see all these crazy this and that, and people doing all these crazy sounds. I assure you, none of that works in the real world. And actually, sometimes when I'm together with other instructors and we're hanging out at a seminar refresher, we put some YouTube videos on and just start looking at things and just tearing it apart. So not everything you see on the internet is true. Sorry to tell you that. I talked about that. Why is conflict avoidance so important? Because the prosecutors and hopefully you're not in this, but a jury are going to put you to the reasonable person test in the law. What does that mean? That means would any other reasonable person have believed the same things that you believe to be true and reacted the same way and in the same situation at that point in time. The good thing for us is this has to be judged in real time, not 20/20 hindsight. You know the old saying, we can win every ball game Monday morning because we knew what the players were going to do Sunday before? Would any reasonable person have acted in the same way in real time under the real situation? Nowadays, it's pretty easy to prove whether it's the defense or the prosecuting side, because how many cameras are on us at any given time during the day? 10. 10 cameras are on us, and this is how it breaks down. 5 is unintentional, whether it's on the sides of a building, whether it's in a gas station. 5 unintended cameras. The other 5 are intentional. People are filming us, especially in a self-defense situation, whether they're doing whatever kind of video they're doing, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever they're into, they're filming with audio. There's going to be a landmark case coming out, it just happened this year, where a guy was attacked. He went down, he lost his gun. You hear in the audio, I lost my gun, someone gave me my gun, and then someone handed him the gun, and then you hear the shots fired. Something about that, and we were watching this, and I said this, nobody stopped to help this guy. No one was helping him who was getting attacked. All they did was they were filming him in real time with audio and video. So we need to understand that's what's going to be happening to us. One thing I always talk about when it comes to self-defense, people think it's a little hard. In basic self-defense, I do it a lot in the firearms training. Is it worth dying over going to jail for? If the answer is no, walk away. Nothing we cannot replace for the cost of a trial. And trials can run anywhere. Self-defense trials are going to run you anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000, and that is a fact. Nothing we can't replace for $100,000, as long as we keep ourselves safe. And let's talk about keeping ourselves safe, because in the law of states, you can protect yourself or others. Let's talk about others. We need to be selfish on this. We need to protect ourselves and our family and friends. I hate the whole good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We do not know who the undercover police officers are in the world, or agents in the world. I know my wife, I know my children, I know my friends. If I need to protect them, I will do it if I cannot get them to safety or get away, which we'll talk about an escape avenue shortly. If you must get involved, and I always recommend you do not, but if you must, get on your cell phone, call 911, tell the police, hey, something is happening here in this street corner. So many times people have attacked an undercover cop and they think he's the bad guy, and the bad guy is really the well-dressed guy with a suit and tie and briefcase, and the undercover cops, long hair, beards, braided beards. They make themselves look not like police officers so they can do the job for us. So be aware of that. There's always 3 outcomes when it comes to a violent attack. We can avoid it, we can escape it, we can defend it. We always want to try to avoid it. Remember, the sooner you identify a possible threat, the longer we have to get away. And this is how it breaks down. If we can identify an individual at 100 feet away, then we have a good chance of moving quickly from that person. If they get within 50 feet, we still have a chance to get away, but instead of moving quickly, that's where we have to start running at a quick pace to get away from a person who's 50 feet away. At 21 feet and less, you're not going to be able to get away. You can be attacked in 1.5 seconds, and that's where your self-defense plan has to come in place. Situation awareness is the key to this. Awareness of your immediate vicinity and the people around you and the objects around you will keep you safe. You know, I go through the color codes, white, yellow, orange, red, black. You never want to be in code white, which is oblivious to it all. Even in your home, I tell people, listen, you can be relaxed in your home, and we are, but lock your doors. In the summertime, my wife is always saying, why are you locking the screen door? The breeze is coming through. I said, listen, I know someone can kick through the door if they wanted to, but if they do, a couple things happen. They're making sound, they don't want to do it, and if you're on the other side of the house or you're somewhere else, you hear the commotion, especially with us with a dog, the dog's going to start barking. It's going to give you some warning that someone's trying to enter your home through that screen door. Another thing about situation awareness is all the smartphones that are out there, the earbuds. I've seen so many people walking around with these black headphones, wireless, and I finally went up to someone who had it. I said, listen, I got to ask, what is that? You know what that is? That is noise-canceling headphones. They want to walk in peace and quiet. Now everyone knows that you can't hear a thing. If you must sleep with it on, that's fine. But if you're traveling, especially in public transportation, please not wear noise-canceling headphones so you can not hear anything. At least have one ear open so you can hear what's going on. We need to think of our immediate vicinity as having a bubble. And the bubble is a 360 around us. Now, on our cell phone, we have a very limited, it's about the size of this paper. When I'm looking down, my concentration is here to the size of the paper. Without the paper, still, it's about the size of this table that you see, the paperwork here, but not off to the side or behind us. That's where you need other sensors to warn you about a possible threat. So how do criminals pick us? Well, they look for someone who is distracted, not paying attention, and pretty oblivious to whatever's going on around them. It doesn't matter, man or woman. Oh my God, I talked about this so many times with guys. I go, I know you're a big guy, but let me tell you, you're sitting there on a park bench or on the train, you're engulfed in your phone, you're looking down, you have a bag, even if they want the phone, the door pops open, they grab your phone, they run out the door. Now you're gonna be in a foot chase. Out in the world, walk with a purpose. And I'm not saying threatening, just walk with a purpose. And this has come back around in the last few years. Make eye contact with everyone. Let them know you see them. Because if you see them and they see you, they do not want to interact with you. They want it to be a surprise. Head on a swivel, not a bad idea to take a look behind on long hallways, especially in hospitals. I literally did this to a person in the hospital who was in a class. This person was walking down on her cell phone. I opened the door, I walked to her, she didn't see me, I walked around her, walked behind her, she didn't see me, blew in her ear. And she was totally startled. Didn't even know I was in the hallway. It was part of the class, so I wasn't doing that to some random person. But it was to prove a point, not a clue. There were other sounds, they were looking up some emails, she said she was responding to email, and once you start responding to a text or email, your focus is dead center in that screen, not paying attention to anything around you. Once you've identified a threat, we call it step off the line or cross the street. Someone's coming at you, you feel threatened, walk across the street, or make a phone call to the police. Tell them there's some kind of weird person, you don't feel comfortable. They will never, ever respond and say, why'd you call us for this? You're wasting our time. You may actually help them catch someone. Now you know how to walk through a crowded area, malls, supermarkets, areas to avoid, blind spots. Blind spots, everywhere we go. Every hallway has a blind spot. If you're walking down the hallway, do not stand right next to the wall as you walk down. Good rule of thumb, you don't have to do this. Walk down, put your fist out, get some distance, so when you take the corner, you can see someone standing on the other side. A lot of places have mirrors now, and that's the reason they have mirrors on the corners, so we can see the people down the other side of the hallways. All right, so now we know we're going to walk through. We're going to keep our head in a swivel. We're going to pay attention 50, 100 feet away. We're going to make eye contact with someone who we think may give us a hard time. Let's talk about 7 signs that you're going to be attacked. Body posture. Nobody as a rule, nobody as a rule walks with their hands in their pockets these days. I know it's cold out, but still, a lot of people still wear gloves, they walk down. If you're walking and people have their hands in their pockets and they're not making eye contact, that's a sign, that's body posture, that they may be concealing something. Remember, when it comes to self-defense, I can't hurt you if I can't touch you. We're not talking about firearm self-defense. We're talking about physical self-defense, being attacked, someone grabbing a purse, someone wanting our wallet, a knife attack. That's what we're talking about today. So body posture is key. Eye contact, I cannot stress this enough. You look directly in their eyes, they look at you, they will walk away. They do not want to be acknowledged. Now, when it comes to someone's checking up on us, 3 kinds of eye contact they can make with us. They can look through us. If they're looking through us, they may be looking at someone else. No one's going to say, sir, can you hold up? I'm going to attack you. I'm going to rob you. Can you hold up a second? I need to call my guy in. Looking through you, they're looking at someone else. Head on the swivel, look around, see if you can make eye contact with that person as well. If they're avoiding you eye contact at all costs, that's another sign. And the third one is that 1,000-yard stare. You look at them, they do not blink, they just have a dead stare at you. That is time to get off the X, or as we say, walk across the street, have your personal protection plan in place, get ready to use it, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. So we know they have to touch us, they know they have to see us. Course interception, this is a game you can play, and we make it a game in a situation where there's training, where you're at the supermarket, you're at the shopping center. I like supermarkets because a lot of aisles. Pick out someone you think may be a threat, maybe not. All I want you to do is observe black jacket, dungarees, maybe brown shoes. As you're walking through, see if you can identify that person as you're shopping. Simple mental drills will keep your game sharp. You don't have to dedicate hours and hours and hours to this. It can be as simple as just keep an eye on one person everywhere you go to train your body and your brain to identify people as you move through the world. Because unfortunately, there's a thing out there called the knockout game. And the knockout game is where they just walk up and they try to knock you out with one punch. And we need to know this. And when they're walking up, and this has been proven, and New York did a great job on filming these guys on the street corners, they're all walking up, but they all start with a fist pre-made or ready to go. Not many people walk around without fist closed. So if you see that, definite red flag, definitely be aware something bad's about to happen. And that's where your course in interception would come in, getting off the X. Verbal engagement. I'm all about not talking to people. People may want to verbally engage you to size you up, to see how friendly you are, see where you're going. Oh, I'm lost. Are you going here? You know, don't answer any of those questions. Just be on your game. I'm lost too. I'm going to try to find a security guard. I'm going to go to the help desk. Let's go together. If they say, no, I don't want to be involved, well, why wouldn't you want to get help if they've lost? So just verbal engagements like that, a little pre-planning, can give you some advanced warning that you're dealing with a bad person. All right. Let's touch on the color codes of awareness real quick. Colonel Jeff Cooper came up with this. Condition white, you are totally unaware of your surroundings. You don't think anything bad will happen to you. Never be in code white outside your home. Not even inside your home, but okay, you want to be relaxed, I get it, hard day's work, kick back, relax. Be aware of what's going on around your house. You hear some strange noises, but always keep the doors locked. Condition yellow. Whether you know it or not, you are always in condition yellow when you drive. That is, you're aware of your surroundings, you're paying attention to what's going on. We're looking at red lights, we're looking at street signs, we're looking at other cars, we're looking at pedestrians. That's code yellow. And you can keep that once you get out of your vehicle. So many people go back to code white when they get out of the car. Stay in code yellow. Be aware of your surroundings. It's not being paranoid. There's a big difference between being paranoid and being prepared. We want to be prepared. We don't want to be all upset inside that we are afraid to go out of the house, but you want to be prepared, have a plan what will happen when you do go out of your house, if something happens. Okay, condition orange. Sorry. You've identified the threat, 50, 100 yards. What do you do? What do you do? What is your plan? Do you have your plan in place? You must have a plan in place prior to engaging someone or trying to avoid someone. We cannot create a game plan during the game. We have to create it prior to that. And that's where those mental exercises come in. If this were to happen, where am I going to go? Where are the exits in a restaurant or in a supermarket? Don't worry if something says employees only. If there's a problem over here and it's safe to go there, go through that door. Code orange, we know we may have to act and we're getting ready to. We're getting our plan in place. Now we're at code red. The threat is actually happening. Your instincts were right. Your mental trigger has been hit. You're going to execute your plan, whatever that is, and you're going to get out safe and sound. When you're in condition red, 3 things you need to do. Escape. Get your self-defense tools ready and engage the threat if need be. Hopefully you can escape, and escape is your best option. If not, this is where your self-defense tools come in, whether it's a firearm, whether it's a pepper spray, whatever you have. And I'm going to do an in-depth show next year about different self-defense tools and the pros and cons of using them, both what works and what doesn't work, and the legal aspects of it. If you have to engage the threat, remember what happens. You engage the threat, that threat stops. What must happen? Your use of force must stop. You have to use the minimal level of force needed to stop the threat in Massachusetts. And when I say minimal level of force, everyone loses their minds on me. Like, Mike, what do you mean I'm going to lose? It does not mean you're going to lose. It just means your level of force has to be equal to the force or the threat being used against you, so that you do not be charged with excessive force. And many people have gone to jail with the people that attacked them because of excessive force. So practice making a game of situation awareness. Try to identify anyone who might be carrying a gun, might be a threat, might be having some mental issues. Watch their hands. Pay close attention to how close they come to you. If you change directions, you go down aisle 6, halfway down, you turn around, you go back the other way. How many people do that? Statistically, if I go down aisle 6 and I make it halfway and I'm in the wrong aisle, we don't go backwards. We always go forwards. People like to go forwards in life. People like to go forwards when they're shopping. So you go down, you stop, you turn around, you go back. Make eye contact if you want. Practice your peripheral vision drills that we do. We look at something on the side. I ask them to identify what's to your left, what's to your right. That's a little more involved. That actually takes a class that we teach. And we also, in that class, with situation awareness class, we also teach reflective surfaces, such as storefronts, large trucks on the street. Many ways we can see what's going on without actually looking at the person if we don't want to. So we can identify all that. Okay, have a plan when things go wrong. Very few self-defense incidents play out the way we imagine them, and none of them play out like you've seen on TV or in the movies. All that craziness you see, it does not happen. You have to take into account fear, adrenaline, loss of fine motor skills. Are you going to drop what you need? Are you going to experience fight or flight? Are you going to freeze? Some people freeze up. They cannot engage the threat. Other people will run away, which is a good thing. We always play the what-if game all the time, and that's our situation awareness class. What if? What if the bad guy comes from your left side? What if the bad guy comes from the right side? What does cover mean? What does a barrier mean? What will stop a bullet? What won't stop a bullet? Where's the closest door that's open that we can get into to get away from a threat? Where's the most people? One of the big what if revolves around the first strike. What will happen legally if you strike first during self-defense? It all depends. It all depends on the totality of circumstances, which is what we're going to be involved in. No one in the law to say, oh, this sucks, I'm trapped. I hope I can sustain this first hit so I can get out of it. You can absolutely defend yourself and get away. We just have to justify, again, the reasonable person test. Would any other reasonable person have done exactly what you've done in that situation? And that takes training, and that takes some prior planning. You need to be able to articulate that you were reasonably in fear of imminent attack, and you had no reasonable means of retreat or escape. We already talked about pre-threat indicators, how they're looking at you, closed fist, walking at you, and then we get into all different types of tools that we use for self-defense and how to keep ourselves safe. Another item I want to bring up goes, not really we're going to use it in a self-defense strike, you can, but a light source. Any simple light source that you have. This is just a simple, not crazy. It's not this, 5D cell battery flashlight. Just a simple light source, either in your pocket, pocketbook, on your keys. They have small ones. The other day, We had this crazy windstorm, rainstorm, everything was dark. Great thing to have, not only getting your door, but also if things blew in your way, so you can look down so you don't trip over anything and get hurt. You'd be amazed in how a little light in absolute darkness can help you. So something to keep in mind, get a little flashlight. I don't recommend anyone in particular. I do always recommend you get one with a button on the end, because you can use this in other classes. It can be more of a tactical flashlight than trying to use the button on top, or especially the screw flashlights. But whatever you're comfortable using. All right. Well, I know I talked about a ton of stuff, situation awareness, items that we can use. I only have a couple minutes left, so I'm going to hop right in the tip of the day. Tip of the day when it comes to self-defense. The first rule of self-defense is this, ladies and gentlemen. We win every fight, we do not fight. If you can avoid it, absolutely avoid it. It's the best way out. And it doesn't make you weak. You know what it makes you? It makes you mentally superior to whatever adversary, whatever problem was happening, and we walked away and we are safe. And that's what it takes. All right. Well, that wraps up today's show. I have some thank yous to do while I still have some time. So this is our 10th show, and I just told Chris Harvey, we've been together 8 months. So thank you for that. You've been a great help. I look forward to working with Chris Harvey and Michelle Lopez. Awesome. The two of them have been great, helping me through in the beginning stages of this. And I'm going to be bringing some new products, some new guests, and some new topics in 2025. Of course, I have to thank my beautiful wife, Lisa. Supports me to no end, whether it's in the morning, we're rewriting things, or at night, she's trying to go to bed, and she looks at me, really, we're going to start this script now. I said, just 5 minutes, and she knows it's not going to be 5 minutes, but she does it anyway, so thank you for all that help. And for everyone watching, I'm wishing you and your families health and safe travels in the new year. See you next time.